Welcome to the first episode of the Cinema Wise podcast. I am your host, Ryan Wolf. Unfortunately, today we're not able to have everybody in the studio today. As you see, I am sitting in the studio. I'm in the engineer booth today. Coming to us from his home via Skype, we have the other half of the Wise Guys, my co-host for this wonderful show that we're starting for you, Matt Gunthorpe. Matt, how we doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Are you staying healthy over there?
Staying healthy, staying inside. Everybody, hope everybody's doing the same. Stay inside. Be safe, please. Be safe. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it today. We're just going to talk about, because it's big news right now, COVID-19. It's basically shut down almost the entire industry. We've got movies being pushed. We've got movies coming out early directly to video so you can watch them. Stars have come down with COVID. So we're just going to jump in and talk about it. I guess the biggest thing is a lot of these theater chains, there's a lot that are going to end up closing. And let's get Matt's thoughts on this.
Well, I think it's number one. I don't want to get political. I think it's a good idea. I think everyone does need to stay home as much as possible. Let's stop this. The more we do right now, the better it is for everyone in the future. Obviously, it's going to change. I won't say change the face of cinema or anything like that, but it's going to change the way things are right now. You know, there might be some movies that come out in the near future, or there might be movies that get pushed to a little further down. Mainly because they're kind of trying to chase that, box office record and all that stuff.
No, that's one thing that's really been affected. I mean, for the first time in history, there has been a zero box office, and that's not due to anything to do with these movies, whether they're good or bad. We have a couple that we have on deck that we will be reviewing since they have been released early via at-home video, Vudu, Amazon, whatever you have. There's way to watch some of these movies, and we'll get into those here in a little bit. But just being able to see those, I think, is great. That some studios, yes, they're trying to make the buck, but at the same time, you want people to stay inside. What better way than to sit at home and watch a movie with your family, your wife, your spouse?
Absolutely, and realistically, I don't blame them for trying to make a buck. They spent a buck making these movies. I think it's great that they, at least some of the movies and some of the studios, see the opportunity of saying all right, we're not going to break box office records and we're not going to make $1 billion, but let's put out this movie. And in reality, I think some of these movies might benefit from the fact that they're not coming out in theaters and are going to come out to streaming and at-home theaters and at-home services more than being at theaters.
Let's actually
that structure, but I'm assuming studios and movies or someone has to pay the movie theaters to play these movies, right?
Yeah.
So with saving that and just going straight to being we'll pay this one Netflix or cable provider to stream this for us, it might actually be lucrative to some of these movies.
Well, going off of that, we're just going to go ahead and jump in to the ones that have been released early, and one that I think will benefit from it because it didn't get the greatest reviews out the gate. We actually did a review for it, and that was Birds of Prey. And I actually really enjoyed Birds of Prey. I thought it was a great film. It's one of it was exactly what I expected going in. If you guys haven't seen our review, that is up on www.cinemawise.com. But this one got pushed early to at-home release, so I think it's going to get another, resurgence for the people that didn't go see it in theaters, but now are sitting at home and looking for something to watch. They might take a second chance on this movie or even a first watch on this movie.
So that's a very interesting release to me. It's a very interesting movie release in general, even before all this stuff to me, because before this even was going down was the whole rebranding almost, because they were
yeah, they changed the name halfway through.
Is something wrong? Is it because of this? Is it because of the marketing? And I don't really know anyone And not that I know a lot of moviegoers or anything like that, but most of my friends go out and see movies if they're interesting. No one even heard that this was coming out. Like, no one even knew it was coming out. No one knew what it was about. Is this from the same director as Suicide Squad or no?
No, it's a female director.
Okay.
I don't have IMDb up right now, so. But a lot of the marketing, if you look at it, it's pulled directly from Suicide Squad. I mean, the aesthetic, if you look at the trailers and things, they're very, very similar. And I think that while Suicide Squad I thought was an okay movie, yes, it does have its problems. It does have its glaring things that I don't like.
Right.
But it had shining moments that I really, really enjoyed.
Right.
That taste of people not liking it so much and then having all of the marketing based around the same thing, I guess that kind of tainted how people went and viewed this movie because...
I don't know, though, because I thought what was the bright sides to me from Suicide Squad, and even coming from not a comic book background, but I like comic books. Like, I knew nothing about that comic series or anything. And it was the trailers that got me into it, and it was the cinematography more than the story, which, spoiler alert, was where that movie went wrong completely. Was like the cinematography and some of like the action scenes and like the way they were setting up the movie with like this character and whatever was great. It was great. It was the fact that like the story itself and the way it fleshed out was freaking awful, dude. Like, I still watch that movie a lot. Like when it comes on TBS or whatever for free, even with commercials, I'll still watch it. I hate to admit it, still watch it. I do find it entertaining, but it was like story wise was terrible. It was terrible. It was in my opinion like I watched it because of I thought the characters were really cool and could have been better made and better fleshed out, and the cinematography I thought was cool. Could have even been a little better. It was a little bit dark for my liking. But the story itself, no fucking excuse, was fucking awful in my opinion. It was terrible. It's hard to watch.
And well, they tried to jam too much in.
Yeah.
And kind of strayed at certain points, but they took the best part of Suicide Squad and made it a full-length movie. They took Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and made it a full-length movie. And I think where they went wrong is they tried to say that it was a Birds of Prey movie. It wasn't a Birds of Prey movie. This is a Harley Quinn movie. They should have done what they did halfway through and just called it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Right.
But it was Birds of Prey, and then they did the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. And that's not what it was. It is a Harley Quinn movie. She is the focus from start to finish. Everybody else is an afterthought.
She was one of the best parts of Suicide Squad.
Correct.
Amazing casting. Her character was pop. Actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm not even probably was the best character, the best casting, the best acting in that whole movie. I hate to say it like that. Will Smith, I know he's real big. Like that character was for him. The other guys I didn't even really know. Some of those guys got fucking introduced and killed just as soon as they came up.
Yeah, they wasted some really good characters.
Awful, like the Inferno guy, Diablo. Like I thought that character, and even I thought his acting wasn't that bad either. And that character wasn't that bad. It was just the way they used it. It was terrible. The Aussie guy with the boomerang, Captain Boomerang, I thought was terrible. Love the actor. Didn't think he was bad in it. I really think the acting in the movie wasn't, and I don't know, but I'm going to say the acting in the movie wasn't as bad as the directing and storytelling of the movie. I think that the actors did not do a bad job in that movie. I think they were not given the best product to act.
Well, I also think that has something to say on studios being involved, because I don't think that it was the full story that David Ayers wants to tell. But that's completely different. Let's jump in to some other studio releases. We spent a little bit of time on that. Sonic the Hedgehog is getting another push.
I saw it in theaters.
Yep, we went and saw that one in theaters, and you didn't realize that it was a kids' movie.
I didn't, because I was thinking it was like, I knew it was going to be lighthearted, but what I was thinking was more along the lines of like, they're aiming this movie at me and you.
Yeah, because that was our generation. We grew up with Sega Genesis.
Like, we played Sonic when we were kids, and they're trying to get like adults to come like see this movie that's going to like be nostalgic. Plus, they can bring their kids to it because it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, bring their kids and kind of usher in the new generation.
But it was definitely aimed at kids.
It definitely was. But still,
it wasn't
bad. It wasn't bad.
I liked it. The parts I was awake and remember, I loved it.
Well, that's what happens when you pull a double shift before you go see a movie. Onward is out now on Amazon, but if you have Disney Prime and you wait
2 weeks,
2 days, I think it comes out on the 2nd, which is in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. It'll be on Disney Plus for free, so that is definitely one that we will do a review for, but we're going to wait for the Amazon Prime for that. The Hunt is one that has come out early, and that is on Amazon Prime. I haven't seen that one anywhere else. It's basically the most dangerous game with rich white people doing the hunting, which is the most dangerous game, but instead of it being one person, it's multiple.
It's highlight the world's most dangerous game. But no, I actually was really excited to see the theaters. We actually, I think, saw that as a trailer of the last movie we went to.
Yeah, and we wanted to go see it.
Yeah, and said I really want to go see that. That is, that's one of the specific movies I was thinking of when I said this might be really good, because I don't know how that was going to do in the box office. But I think once people watch it at home, if it's good, they'll say, just watch this movie.
Here's the problem that I had when they released it at home, though. If you go on Amazon right now, it's $20 just to rent it. While next to it, you have Bloodshot and Birds of Prey and Sonic and Onward, which are $20 to own.
Why is that?
The Hunt is strictly to rent $20. And that's the reason. That's the reason why I haven't watched it yet, is because if I'm going to pay that chunk of money, I want to own it. Everything else, like Sonic and stuff like that, if you go and you just want to rent it, it's $4.99, $5, whatever.
See, that's so weird. The major is it? I'm guessing the Hunt is like a independent. No, yeah, independent.
No, it's a Sony Studios, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a Sony production. So
that's what I remember. You told me that. That's the only reason I haven't watched it yet, because I said I wanted to watch it, and you were like, "Dude, it's $20 just to rent it," and I was like, "That's a lot of money to swallow during these times, especially to like rent a video. Like if I owned it, cool, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to seeing it." And I was like, realistically, these days, like
if you go to the theater, you're paying more than $20 to see it.
Yeah, so I was, $20 is okay, but not if I can't rewatch it, especially like you said, next to those other movies that you can rewatch.
Another movie that's coming out early, it's already out, is Emma. I believe this is another classic retelling of
Jane Austen.
Yeah, Jane Austen novel.
Yeah.
So it's got the what's her name? It's the girl from Split.
Yes, I couldn't think. Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on. I can't think of her name.
I can't think of her name right now.
Do you want me to look it up? I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's gonna drive me nuts. It's Joy something. I'm
looking it up right now.
She's also going to be in New Mutants, which got pushed. But
who is she in New Mutants?
I'm not
sure. Joy, is that her?
Yeah. What'd she say?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, that's her. She's from Split. I really like everything that I've seen her in. She's been fantastic.
Did you see Emma?
I didn't. It's one that I told Tiffany that if she wanted to watch, that I'd watch it with her. It's one that I would take the gamble on. It's probably not one that I'm going to love, but it's one that, because of this actress, I will take the gamble and sit through.
I will say this. I know two people that saw it. They saw it together, and they're both in the same demographic. They're older women. They're like women in their 40s. I assume at least one of them read the novel.
Okay.
But they really enjoyed it. They thought it was a great movie. They both said they really enjoyed it, and they both said that I should see it. And I was like, probably not, because I watch a lot of movies, and I don't think it's going to make my list. But if it came on TV or something real interesting happened with it, I probably would watch it. But I did hear it was pretty good from.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it. It's just because we do this right now out of our own pockets, it's not going to be one of the top ones that I'm going to say, okay, am I going to spend my money to go try and see this and things like that. Now, if someone wants to give us free screeners, we'll watch every movie that you give us.
Every single one of them.
So
all of them. Every movie out right now, I'll watch in one day, if possible.
So the other movie that came out early, which was the last movie we saw together, which was Invisible Man.
But wait. Only if we can come back to another movie after this. But yes, let's talk about The Invisible Man. I enjoyed it. I don't think I've actually seen any Invisible Man beginning to end before this. I know there's been at least a few versions of it.
Yeah, it was remade, and
is it a remake or a reboot?
This is a remake. But if you remember from the episodes that nobody has ever seen, when we did our Elizabeth Banks episode where she was running her mouth, she is attached to an Invisible Woman that is completely separate from this film.
And the Invisible Woman, I'm sure, will be a fucking hero.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
But because of the success of The Invisible Man, it's another Blumhouse. It was very cheap to make, and people did seem to like it. I enjoyed it. I thought that there were points in it that
Blumhouse, by the way, I think we should hit them up. I would love them to sponsor us. I like a lot of shit they do for very cheap.
Yeah, they're a great studio. But because of the success of The Invisible Man, they are now giving the director Dracula as well. So he's going to modernize the story of Dracula. So they're kind of taking the Universal monsters that the Tom Cruise's Mummy and stuff tried to do and bring that back to the front. So
I'm 1,000% behind remaking all of those classic horror movies, only if they remake the Monster Squad as well.
Well, that's what they were trying to do in The Mummy. Did you watch the Tom Cruise Mummy?
I didn't.
Okay. I'll give you my Amazon password, which we're not supposed to do, but people do it. Or you can come over, we can sit down and watch it, but they tried to bring all that back together, and it was just a laughable shit show.
Right. I remember you telling me that. I haven't seen it, but I remember you telling me.
It's really, really... It's so bad that it's funny.
Am I saying the right thing? The Monster Squad, it was like lighthearted comedy, but it brought back police. Yeah.
Yeah, it combined all those guys together.
Yeah.
But because of the success, they're redoing Dracula, modernizing Dracula and redoing it, which, depending on who they get, I love Dracula. I'll be on board for that. As for The Invisible Man, I thought they gave a little bit too much up front, but that's just because I had prior knowledge. I'm sorry?
You mean in the trailers, like they gave too much away before you went into the theater?
No, within the first 5 minutes. within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw it.
Yeah. Within the first 5 minutes, I don't want to spoil it because this isn't our spoiler section. But within the first 5 minutes, there were certain things that I saw, and I was like, oh, this is going to lead to this. This is how he's doing this. This is this. Done. I had the movie figured out before it even got rolling.
I get it.
So that was one of those. So,
did you not like it, or
I thought it was a good modern day telling. That actress is phenomenal.
I was going to say Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah, she is amazing.
Was great.
Fantastic. But the real champion of that film was the score. That score was so off-putting and just kept you on the edge of your seat from the opening credit to the end. And it was really uncomfortable to just sit there.
It was.
Which is what you needed out of that film.
I would agree with that. 100%.
We have one more movie left on the films that were released.
No, wait, I don't have
early.
Any. Besides the movie I wanted to talk about.
What movie was that?
Frozen 2.
Oh, that's all you. If you want to talk about Frozen 2, take 5 minutes.
It wasn't early out of theaters, but it was early on to home release on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You're really not going to talk to me about this movie?
I will talk to you about it, but after my experience with the first one and everybody telling me how great it was, and then I thought it was probably the worst animated movie I've ever seen.
Well, I'll say this. If you didn't like the first one, definitely don't watch the second one. Because it barely holds up. But on what it holds up on was fantastic. It's a child's movie. It's a kid's movie, and it entertained me basically from beginning to end. There were definitely parts from like the very beginning that I was like, this is what's going to happen. Like, this is how they're doing this. This is what's going on. And I called the movie out from like beginning to end. So it was very predictable, and it was kind of, not the best. But, and I know different people have different views on animated flicks. I give a little bit of leeway to animated flicks because I like the fact that most animated things are closer to what I imagined in my head in the first place. And I will say that it entertained me for sure. Was it amazing? No. Was it one of my favorite animated movies? Definitely not. But was it worth a watch for free on Disney Plus? 1,000 times 200%. For sure. Watch it for free.
I'm sure at some point with my 7 nieces that I will have to watch Frozen 2 at some point. So I will wait until that punishment day to watch that film.
And I bet you won't hate it as much as you think you're going to hate it. Like, it definitely is. You got to look. And that's one of the things I liked most about it, though, was that it was really, I mean, imagine how hard it is to tell a fucking fairy tale without, like, an actual villain. Like, it was different. I enjoyed it. What other movie did you have? You said you had one more too.
Yeah, right? We've got the Vin Diesel.
Bloodshot. My buddy did a review on it. He loved it, but I've also never seen him do a bad review of any movie ever. And I'm not a huge Vin Diesel fan. I will say that right up front. Obviously, I think to everyone, he's not a good actor. Let's just put that out there.
He can be good if you use him the right way, but he is one of those actors that has one beat.
The character that you're casting him for is a musclehead with no brains and can read a line, yes, he's a good actor.
He can do one thing really, really well.
But in my opinion, Vin Diesel is not a good actor. It's hard for me because I have that idea of him to watch him in movies where I don't think you're just a terrible actor. And on that note, I watched the trailers for it and thought to myself, do I think I could watch this movie and suspend my bias of the fact that I think he's trash? And from the trailers, no. I don't think I can watch this movie and just say I'm watching based on the action and the cinematography and how well they did the story and the special effects. I don't think I could suspend all that for how bad of an actor I think he is.
Well, looks like you won't be doing our review for it. But it's Vin Diesel in a comic book movie. I mean, I don't know what else you would want out of it. I don't think my expectations going to watch it aren't very high. But it's one that I have I have the ability to watch here at home and do a review for you guys. So I'm going to sit down and do it. That looks like everything that we have laid out for you today. We're about at the 28-minute to 30-minute mark. Matt, is there anything that you're looking forward to watching during the quarantine? Something that we talked about that you're like, yes, I want to watch that while I'm sitting here under a quarantine having things to watch?
From the movies that we talked about today, I will say The Hunt is number one on my list. I was really looking forward to seeing it. And I hate to admit it because I just fucking bashed all over it more than any other movie we talked about. But Bloodshot's probably going to be right after The Hunt. Like, I do want to see it.
Yeah. That's probably the one that one and Onward when it comes out, because I've heard nothing but fantastic things about Onward. But I'm going to wait the extra 2 days to watch it for free.
I'm glad to hear that because I've heard nothing negative reviews about that movie, and it's Pixar, right?
It's Pixar and Disney, yes.
They don't do anything wrong. Like they make nothing but fantastic movies.
Yeah, Pixar, until they give me a complete stinker, which they haven't. They've given me some, okay ones, but their okay ones are still pretty awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's all we have for you on the first episode of the Cinema Wise podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am one half of the Wise Guys, your host, Ryan Wolf. The other half is Matt Gunthorpe. We just want you guys to take a moment, go ahead and find us on Facebook. You can find the podcast, links to everything on www.cinemawise.com. We are also on Twitter and Instagram. I believe those are both cinema_wise for you. Go ahead and give us a follow. Go ahead and share this. The more people that you get to watch, the more we get to do wonderful content, get guests and stuff lined up for you. I actually have, through a personal connection for me, I really have a great guest coming up for you guys. But we want to get the viewership up so we can, make it worth these people to take the time out and talk to us. Anything you want to sign off with, Matt?
Yeah. Wash your hands. Stay at home. Be safe. Be healthy. Be smart. And let's get through this.